Anti-Semitism throughout European history. To start this out, what is anti-Semitism? The common definition is the prejudice, hatred of, or discrimination against Jews for reasons connected to their Jewish heritage. Throughout the centuries, anti-Semitism has been a constant problem. Dating back to the Middle Ages, anti-Semitism was created when Christians believed that Jews were responsible for the death of Jesus. They were accused of the ritual murder of Christian children called blood libels. Because of these accusations, many Jews were massacred. Here are a couple examples of what they would look like. Basically, they would pierce the skin of children, most specifically Christian children, and they were thought to use it for medical purposes or like Passover. In medieval times, many Jews were excluded from groups or jobs due to the fear of competition with the local population. A common thing they did was trade with one another or outside the city. They were excluded from the population and put into ghettos. Jews were forbidden to own land and were forced to wear distinguishable clothing or badges since the 1215 Fourth Lateran Council, created by Pope Innocent III. Here's what the badge would look like, as well as some of the clothing the women would wear. A big cause of Jewish persecution was the Black Death in the 14th century. They were accused of poisoning the wells. During the Crusades, anti-Semitism went widespread. In England and France, Jews were expelled. In Spain and Portugal, Jews were forced to convert or leave. Here's a map explaining where the Jews would go if they were expelled or to leave. As you move to the Renaissance, Enlightenment, and Imperialist eras, Europe begins to experience political reformations. But even then, people expressed non-religious Semitism. Monarchs such as Maria Theresa of Austria and Frederick II of Prussia put limits on the Jews, either making them pay to settle in their country or leave. After the 15th and 16th century, many Jews were looking for a place of refuge. As the new banking system came into place, a new term called court Jews was issued in some Western European states. Here you have Samuel Oppenheimer, a Jewish banker for Leopold I. Court Jews were businessmen and bankers who received privileges from the sovereign and acted as their treasurers and tax collectors. The downfall from this is that if the state were to have problems or the monarchy were to lose power, the Jews were the scapegoat and took the blame, usually ending in death. The Jewish population was specifically positioned in Central and Eastern Europe. The Jews in Poland had been granted religious and cultural autonomy, but even then, due to the uprising, 200,000 Jews were massacred. By the 19th century, racial anti-Semitism began to arise during the Industrial Revolution as well as the start of nationalism. The main idea of racial anti-Semitism was the emphasis on the non-European origin and culture of the Jews. The modern anti-Semitism emphasized the hatred of the Jews as a race rather than just the religion. Jews struggled to gain their rights as equal citizens. In Germany, this brought up the Hep riots in 1819 when the Jews of Bavaria were attacked for claiming their civilian rights. There was a conspiracy theory of Jewish world economic domination as presented in the anti-Semitic hoax, The Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which was first published in Russia in 1903. A familiar event would be the Dreyfus Affair in the 19th century. Alfred Dreyfus, a French man of Jewish origin, was falsely accused of treason. Even when proven innocent, he was still persecuted. This was one of the events that started the movement against anti-Semitism. The Holocaust was the most significant event of the anti-Semitism and genocide. 6 million Jews were killed, which was 2/3 of the Jewish population in Europe. People believed Jews were the cause of the loss in World War I, and after the economic crisis in 1929, the Nazis came into power. Anti-Jewish propaganda was released and articles attacking Jews. Some of the Nazi cartoons portrayed the Jews as dirty, big-nosed, and badly dressed. Starting in 1933, the Nazis began to pass laws against Jews rather than just speech in articles. There were laws such as the Nuremberg Laws, which took away Jews' citizenship. The Nazis started using violence to enforce these laws. They targeted homes, businesses, and places of worship, killing Jews in Germany and in Austria. The invasion of Poland led to the final solution in 1939. Jews were placed in ghettos once more and then sent to the concentration camps. This is a picture of what it would look like inside the ghettos before it got really bad, like a nice version. This is a picture of the Jews getting on the train on their way to the concentration camps, and this is one picture of what it would look like inside. Many Jews were murdered in great numbers. Soon the Nazis started practicing the use of gassing Jews in the camps, such as Auschwitz, which is the upcoming building right now. This is Auschwitz. So, after the United States intervened and World War II ended, the Jews in 1945 began to go back home or immigrate. Even after the Holocaust ended, persecution of Jews didn't stop. Many people were afraid Jews would try to get revenge or take back property stolen from them. As Israel became known as a conquering imperial power, anti-Semitism began to grow in Western Europe once more. During the 21st century, currently, anti-Semitism has increased drastically with increases in verbal attacks as well as vandalism, bombings of Jewish schools, and desecration of Jewish synagogues. This is a picture of a bombing of a Jewish school. Anti-Semitism is most highly found in France and Germany. Places like Belgium, Austria, and the United Kingdom also have incidents like this. Attacks have gotten more violent due to the economic crisis of 2008. The economic crisis of 2008 resulted in the rise of far-right parties, anti-immigration, and anti-Semitic ideas. More than 150 million people still have anti-Semitic views against Jews. Throughout history, Jews have been constantly persecuted. Some people could just burn down a Jew's house or take their children and convert them, and there would be no problem because Jews were thought to be beneath everyone. They don't deserve the cruelty that is forced upon them. Maybe during this era we can change that.